Hello there, this is James, and you're watching Tixee Live. And a very good morning to all of you and every single one of you. A happy Tuesday. Today's program, I want to discuss the euro dollar and whether or not today will be the day it could possibly reach parity, because currently it's in touching distance. And a couple of other stories which is all weighing heavy on the market. But before we get into that, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research, do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out the way, let's get to it. So, hi, good morning to you. Hi to you too. Thank you. Very nice. I like people saying hello and having interactions. Great. Thank you. So yes, it's today because it's today because, like I said before at the beginning of this video, we are this close for the euro dollar hitting parity. There is a little bit of support for it, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that, what's happening at the level it's currently trading at. But there is a lot of thought and a lot of talk in the market that today will be the day that the euro dollar will reach parity. Now, we've got a couple of events happening in about an hour's time, which could but give it that sort of little push over the edge, so to speak. These aren't usually major events. They're sort of like medium events, but they are happening today in about an hour's time, like I said. So it might be worth still keeping an eye on them. And these events are the EU zoo survey and the German zoo survey. What are these? Well, the zoo survey measures the institutional investor sentiment and registers between the difference between the share of investors who are optimistic about current market conditions and those who are pessimistic about the current market conditions. Now, the EU zoo is expected to come in as negative 32.8. Okay, the German zoo is expected to come in at negative 38.3. Now, if it's a higher number than any of the two expected, then that is indeed, it's negative anyway, so it's bad news anyway. But if it's higher than expected, so as a negative 40, then that's very bad news, etc. If it comes in slightly better, like negative 2.5, that will be seen as slightly better news. So it'd be interesting to see what these events come in. But like I say before, these aren't usually major events. Usually you've got medium events. But I think with the current condition where the euro is at the moment and all the market chatter and focus on the euro dollar hitting parity, I think these could be some of the some events worth keeping an eye on. Like I said, they're happening again in about 55 minutes time. So it'd be worth watching it. Now, let me ask you a question, or let me ask a question in general, okay? If indeed it can fall below parity, how low can the euro dollar go? Well, there's two banks have come out and registered their opinion on how low the euro dollar could go. One is the Scotia Bank. They say they believe, or they think, a break below parity could lead to the mid-90s level, 0.90s. I'm not talking about the decade. I'm talking about 0.90 against the dollar, mid-90s level against the dollar. ING, they believe it could slide to 0.95 if it falls below parity. So, that's their opinions. But either way, the market is obsessed with this parity at the moment. It's all the talk of the town. So let's have a quick look at it and we'll see where it is at this moment in time. So here we go. This is the euro dollar. Okay, it's currently trading at the moment 1.00078, 0.778. It's finding a little bit of buying here, a little bit of support, just holding it up around here, just above parity. Now, there is several reasons why there's that bit of support. One reason is we're seeing a fair few of some call options around that level, which is giving it a bit of support and holding it just above it. But the general consensus is eventually these option buyers or these option levels eventually will give way to selling pressure. So for now, it's just been held up by maybe a bit of call option buying, which is holding it around that level. But let's see if the selling pressure continues. Do I think it will hit parity today? To be totally open with you, I would not like to put any bets on it. I think it is very a strong possibility that it could hit parity today. But I think at the same time, when it will definitely hit parity, I think it will be tomorrow with the US CPI. But like I say, it could potentially hit parity today. As you can see, this is on a 30-minute chart. RSI is still above the 30, so not indicating oversold. But yeah, clearly we have a strong US dollar against the euro, really trying to push it to that famous parity level. And let's see what happens today. Let's see how the German zoo and the EU zoo comes out. See if that has any impact on the direction. Anyway, on other news, gold has slid to a 9-month low as the market has rushed to the US dollar as a safe haven. And obviously for other reasons. We discussed why gold is under pressure a couple of days ago, didn't we? In a couple of other episodes, we discussed that. But obviously the market is rushing indeed to the US dollar. So let's have a quick look at gold as well. Okay, so there we go. Gold is currently trading at $1,732.55 an ounce. It did touch that level I've been watching. Remember that I was talking about this level, 1,727. That was a key area of interest, a potential support. And as we can see, it did touch it, and the market did manage to bounce back from it for now. But there's no doubt gold is still under pressure. And if we can look how key this level is, this level has been in play. If we put it on a daily, we've seen several bits of buying from this level in the past. But for now, it held for that time being, but we don't know how long it will hold, because obviously we are seeing gold under pressure. But $1,727, in my opinion, is a key area of interest. It's a level I am certainly watching. In other news, let's talk about something else other than gold, because I'm always talking about gold, because you know me, I am a gold bug. China heading back into lockdown again. There is big concerns that obviously they've had new outbreaks of COVID-19 in several Chinese cities. Like I said yesterday, already you have 114 million people in China under lockdown restrictions of some sort. So again, there is concern that China is going to head back into lockdown, which is really heavily affecting demand demand for oil. And what we've seen on the back of this is oil's come under pressure, which we'll look at again now as well. Oil's come under pressure, currently trading at $99.53 an ounce. We put it on a smaller chart. You can see with these lockdown concerns happening in China is really putting the pressure on black gold, as they call it, oil. So currently trading at $99.47 a barrel. So yeah, so that is under pressure purely, again, actually there is recession concerns as well. Don't forget that's handling demand. But yeah, it's also the China lockdown, because when China went into 2-month lockdown, that put a lot of pressure on demand for oil. So yeah, that is a big concern for the oil market, which is not bad news for it's not bad news for us, is it really, if you think about it? Because obviously, hopefully in the future, oil starts falling down to prices, which is a bit cheaper to run our cars, etc. So that's where we are at the moment. Currently $99.34 a barrel. Okay, other key events happening again this week. We got Bank of England Governor Bailey. He's speaking today. UK GDP happening tomorrow. German CPI and US CPI happening tomorrow. I'll talk about that in a minute. Canadian interest rates, US retail sales, and Michelin consumer sentiment all happening. But the main event, like I've already said, is, of course, the US CPI. Expectation is 8.8%. 8.8%. Okay, that's a 4-decade high if it comes in at that. Okay, so I will be doing a watch along on that, a special on it at 12:20 p.m. UTC, because I think that is the big event. I think that's a massive event this week, the big event. If it does come in 8.8 or even higher, the market is going to desperately, especially after that really good job data we had on Friday, the market is going to definitely think the rate hikes are going to happen, are going to be more aggressive by the Fed. 75 basis point by the end of the month, maybe even 100. Okay, and that's going to put fear amongst the markets. So yeah, this is going to be a big event. So please come and join me. 12:20 p.m. UTC tomorrow. Okay. Obviously, we've got average earnings, but I'll talk a little bit about that again later today. But as the market stands, currently the FTSE is negative 0.25%. DAX currently trading at 1.12%. Eurostoxx 50 currently trading at negative 1.11%. So a little bit, all a little bit negative across the board. But yeah, so is today going to be the day that we're going to see euro dollar reach parity? It's going to be really fascinating to see it. And like I say, if it does eventually, and I think it is only a matter of time, whether it'll be today, it's still early in the European session. We're only an hour and 12 minutes in the European session. Let's really see how the German zoo and the EU zoo impacts it. The market is expecting it to hit parity any time now. But like I say, at the moment, it's finding some support by those option buyers and see how long they can hold out for. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. Don't forget, you can ask me questions anytime you wish. This is what I'm here for. It is live. Or just say hello or hi, like this gentleman did earlier on, which I really appreciate. It's nice to know that I got people out there watching and wanting to chat. So is there any questions? Anybody like to ask me anything at all? A little sip of water. That's better. Sorry, my throat's getting so dry. So all the talking, you see, all the talking and me getting overexcited at times. Okay, if there is no, hang on. Is there a question? Brilliant question. Brilliant question. What is the expected lowest price for the euro at the moment? That's a fantastic question. Well, like I say, at the moment, it's a brilliant question. Thank you. At the moment, like I say, we've got some option buyers holding it. We think they're option buyers holding it just above parity. How low can it actually go if it does indeed break parity? That's going to be a big surprise, and that's going to be a big question. Like I say, Scotiabank, they believe that when it breaks parity, eventually it could fall as low as the mid-90s against the dollar. ING thinks it could go as low as 0.95 against the dollar. But I say, look, usually what happens when you get something like this, if the momentum continues, if it eventually does break parity, it will probably hit down to like maybe mid 0.9950, and then you might, again, it's not advice, but this is just going on experience of when I watched the market break a level, a level the market's been keen on. They get all excited. It might break down through, if it can break through parity, it might break down as low as 0.9950 initially. But then we might see a bit of buyers, some dip buyers push it back above parity. Then the market, again, obviously the sellers come back in and push it pressure and can push it even lower. So yeah, that's usually what I've seen in the past when key levels are broken and all the market gets into a great big excitement. But as low as it can go, like I say, Scotiabank believes mid-90s. ING believes 0.95 is as low as it can go if it does break parity. But that's a fantastic question. That's a really, really, really good question. Thank you for that. Is there any more questions at all? Anybody else want to ask me anything? Okay. That's a great question, though. Brilliant. Thank you so much. I love it when people ask me questions. Because it's tixee live. It's live, means live. This is what I'm here for. But that's brilliant. That's a fantastic question. Thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate that. If there is no more questions, don't forget, if you think of a question later, after the program is finished. Thanks, James. My absolute pleasure. No, thank you. I really appreciate you asking me a question and interacting. So thank you. Thank you. It's pleasure is all mine. What was I going to say? If you think of a question a little bit later and it just comes to your head, don't forget you can put it in the comments on either Facebook or YouTube. I will see them. I will see the comments. And next time I go live, I will answer them live on air. So I will always answer your questions if I see them. So if you think of a question later, just jot it into the comments and I will see them and I will answer them later. So always think about that. Or bear that in mind. Okay. So you can always have that option 2. If there is no more questions, in that case, I give that brilliant question as well. Once again, I really appreciate it. If there is no more questions, don't forget, if you're watching me on Facebook and you like it, give us a follow. By all means, if you like. If you're watching me on YouTube and you like it, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button next time I'm going live. And don't forget, I'm going live again later this afternoon at 1 p.m. UTC. So let's have a look, see where the euro is then. So yeah, don't forget, 1 p.m. UTC, I'll be back online. Yeah, so like I say, subscribe so you know next time I'm going live. If you like this little video and you've enjoyed it and you found it useful and you've put up with me on my over-the-top excitability, give me one of those. It's nice to know. I see I've got a like now. Thank you. It's nice to see that people are liking these little videos. Anyway, till next time, which of course will be today at 1 p.m. UTC, 1 p.m. UTC. Remember, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.